actually started off in 19...
I might be wrong, but it's like Negro history something.
Oh, well, it might be true. But it actually started off in 1929. It was an actual week-long event. It's
Only a week?
Only a week.
Okay, we need to find out when they moved it into a month.
1970.
Oh, okay, you know.
If I'm not mistaken, President Lyndon Johnson is the president that made sure it was a whole month.
Oh, wow. It needs to, well, now it's, okay, we need to, it needs to be, like, longer than that. I don't like 1 month.
Well,
I don't like the 1 month.
If you look at mostly all the heritage months, there's so many different ones.
Yeah, okay, so it makes sense.
It would be taken away and it wouldn't be as equal. However, you're right. I think it's something we should celebrate every day.
It's true. Okay, guys. But first, let's talk about finding your passion, because this one has been on my mind recently. I feel like when I was younger, I kind of struggled, you know, like, well, not struggled, but I always wondered what I would be doing when I was older. And I had an idea. Like, I always knew that I was going to be on camera and, like, on social media. Like, I always knew that was going to be my thing. But I feel like as I grew up, we kind of get lost and, like, limit ourselves. Like, it's tough finding our passion because there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure when you're growing up, like, oh, what are you gonna do? And like, we kind of psych ourselves out, you know?
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about finding your passion and not being embarrassed to explore different things, because that's another thing. Like, once you're growing up, like in high school, it's hard to, like, you feel a little, everyone knows what they're doing, and like some people, there's a lot of people who don't know what they're doing, and I feel like that comes with a lot of pressure, and it comes with a lot of self-doubt. And I feel like once you already have like limiting beliefs and self-doubt, it just makes you stay still.
Well, this is my thing on passion, right? Passion lies within all of us, right? It's going to stir up in all of us at different times in our life.
Oh, okay.
So
Love that.
when you're saying that, you know, a lot of people didn't necessarily find it at those times, it just means that it wasn't ready for it to explode out of them just yet.
Okay, I really like how you said that, how passion comes at it's a different time. I needed that. That is, you know what? True.
And also passion comes in our greatest moments. No way we could actually get to our greatest moments without the passion behind it.
Yeah.
So you need
But it also takes that drive in yourself to, like, okay, and some of us don't know how to get there, though.
Yeah. Passion and desire, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, you got to, like I said on the last couple shows, you got to know your why. Once your why is clear as day, then you can put a plan in place to actually get to where you're trying to be.
Right. I feel like when I was talking to, you know, like my cousins, like, some of them are like, well, I don't know what I want to do yet.
And that's okay. That's totally okay.
Like, they don't have to figure it out, like, or they don't
Morgan Freeman was 60 when he first started acting.
That's so
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, Samuel L. Jackson was 42 when he first started acting.
Yeah.
So just because you didn't start off in the beginning doesn't mean you can't start off at a later time.
Right.
I remember reading something about a CEO at 25 and he died at 40. And then there was another CEO who became CEO at 50 and he died at 90.
Oh, wow.
So he actually was able to sustain most of his life and not be so stressed out, and actually was in the right place the right time.
Exactly.
The other person necessarily got it too quick, got burnt out, and you know he ran out of time. So a lot of times it's not about getting there first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like getting there later is it's okay too.
Right.
You know, it's a progression.
I think what a lot of people forget too, like when you're in the midst of figuring out yourself and what you want to do with your life, like you have to put yourself out there. Like you have to, like for me, when I was traveling and like going from here to there and like seeing more of the world, like more ideas came to me, like more ideas were flowing. More, like I got a clear vision on what I wanted to do in my life. I saw other people doing like these cool things and I was like, okay, I think I could try that. Like
I like to call that a walkabout. It's like when you go out in the earth and around the world and actually or go around your surrounding areas outside of your comfort zone and you go on a walkabout to kind of get perspective. And a lot of times you have to go in different places to gain a different level of perspective because you can't necessarily find it where your current situation.
Right, and I think that's like if you're young, that's exactly what you have to do.
But the other thing is that a lot of times passions change over time. So
yes, that's another thing. Like that's also,
you don't have to stick with the same one.
Right.
That's just like saying a college student has to stick with the same major.
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
We don't want to do that.
Most people, change it 4 times before they get to the end.
And I'm glad you said that, because I think people, when they think of a passion, finding their passion, they think of, I just need this one thing and then I'll be good.
Yeah, no. Because passion, like I said, is just that fire that's inside of you. So it's going to keep burning you to do something and something else and then something else. I mean, it's not something, when people really get that fire inside of them, they can't just settle with just one thing. They have to do more and more and more to achieve more. And it's just, eventually you get to that point where you just like, you attain so much.
Like that's what I really like this is my passion, but there's so many more things that I'm passionate about that I want to. So other people, Julia Fox, she's lived so many lives, like, you know what I mean by that?
Yeah,
she just had every step of her life, phase of her life was a different life story than what she is now. And it's just like, I love looking at people like that, because they've lived, like, they got to be in a different story or a different book. Like, well, I kind of love that.
I look at it too as just like you leveling it up. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then the different eras and aspects of your life brings different things. So you have to adapt and change. And a lot of times, if you're flexible and maneuverable, you'll be able to adapt and change with those things and actually still be successful moving on.
Right.
It's just like saying, for instance, if somebody was rapping for 30 years and they were using the same stuff that they were using from the 90s, right now, it necessarily wouldn't work. They wouldn't do as well. However, like those people like Jay-Z or somebody like that, or the Rihannas of the world, they've basically been able to change up each time to actually achieve different levels of goals that they've had set.
Right. I don't know. I just, like, sometimes when I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, there's so much life to live, but at the same time, there's not. So that's why it's so important that we do make sure we are, like, growing and just trying everything. Yeah. Like, I'm one of those people, like, I have to try everything at least once in my life. Yeah. Like, if it's like, I don't know, it could be anything, but I'm gonna try it. Like, I'm gonna try it at least once. And I feel like that's how everybody should live, Like, if you're, like, in your 20s, it can get kind of, like, weird, because then you don't, like, I feel like when I was in my 20s, I was at a stage of, like, I don't want to, like, copy what that person's doing, like, or I don't want to, like, they're already doing that. There's no room for me, so I'm just gonna do this,
Well, I've always had this thing. You've heard me say it before. Just because somebody comes up with an idea doesn't mean that you can't perfect it and do it better.
Right.
So just because somebody else is doing it, you just do it in your own way, and make it successful for you.
Right. And that's, like, true. That's another important thing when you're finding your passion too, or just finding out what you want to do in your life, is like, I get in my head sometimes, like, oh my God, there's so many people doing social media. But, like, everyone has their own lane. But everyone brings their own flavor to it.
That's very true.
And you have to remember that.
And then when you look at the statistical data behind it, I mean, out of 8 billion people, it's not enough entertainment for everybody. So therefore, it's not enough people doing what we do. So we got to keep bringing content to people that are in different places, different levels, you know what I mean? So I enjoy looking at the rankings that you can go to those different websites and actually see your show and where it ranks nationally, worldwide, and stuff like that. And then to see it up so high, I mean, when you look at 8 billion people, I would say we're doing pretty good.
Exactly. So it's just like, when you're young, you kind of, like, get in your head about things. Like, you get in your head on, like, life. And so I just feel like, what should young people do coming out of high school, like, if they want to start something? Like, what would you tell?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say, coming out of high school. I would say,
kids coming out of high school, in high school.
Kids need to be prepared in junior high at this point.
Yeah.
It's just not enough. Kids don't have time to take things for granted anymore, because things are moving so fast. With technology improving, I mean, we need the younger generation to be on task and on pace with everything that's going to come, because it's going to go so much faster. Yeah. And then the next group of people is going to go so much faster for them. Yeah. So everybody got to get on this boat and jump on and kind of identify the direction that they want to go at a young age. However, like I said, it could change. They would pivot and do something else. When I was young, I wanted to be in the military, and I wanted to be in the silent drill team for the Marines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was in ROTC. I was a part of all the different groups and stuff like that. And then I got in the military, and then I necessarily found out that, that wasn't for me. And so, like I said, you have to pivot and go in another direction. I went to school,
right.
And then I got my degree, and I was able to do some different things. Mm-hmm. And it took me in different directions, and I enjoyed each one of the different paths that I went on. Mm-hmm. So.
Oh, that sounds fun. Like, I don't know when I'm gonna have another shift.
Well, I mean,
off topic for a second. It
can happen at any time.
I'm nervous.
Well, it's like I said, it's 2023. Yeah. Imagine how many things are going to change in 2026, 2030. So we have to adjust very, very fast.
Okay. If we don't, what do you think about? Get left behind. What do you think about starting multiple things of this, like multiple things?
I think it's a great idea.
Because some people don't like that.
Only if you prioritize. You got to know your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You got to put everything in its proper order.
Right.
And you got to give everything its proper attention in that order.
Okay, I like that you say that.
And if you do that, you should have no problems. But what happens is if you put everything level playing field and you don't necessarily address everything in its proper manner, you put too much in everything, and you should have been shifting and bringing stuff up that was necessarily not as successful as the things you already had up here.
Yeah.
Then, you know what I mean, you could cause yourself a lot of stress and anguish. So, like
feeling
I said,
stuck.
Exactly. So prioritize, figure out, like you said, your why, and you figure out your 1, 2s, and 3s, and then you run the play of what you need to do at that point.
In each category. I like how you say that, though, because a lot of people are like, you need to do one thing. Like, people have told me, like, when it comes to DHP, I have to focus on just this.
Well, I mean,
and I can't focus on all the other things.
If we would have did that, then we wouldn't have our Diamond Holly Productions
or
Shinin
Corner,
gear, or our Sapphire merchandise on our website. You can check below www.diamondholly.com, diamondhollyproductions.com.
Okay, plug. But it's just like, every time somebody would tell me, like, oh, you just need to focus on just the pod.
No,
like,
that's enough
I used to get so frustrated, like, because I'm like, okay, so what am I supposed to be doing?
So, like,
I need to do everything.
Like I always say, to you guys, are you a one-trick pony?
Yeah.
That's all you got? Or will you diversify your skill sets in the delivery of what you're trying to achieve?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You can't just, if it's just like a strategy, with like even a video game. If your route playing football doesn't work out that way, you got to be able to change it and actually go a different way.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so that's what you got to do with your stuff, your life, your things that you're trying to accomplish.
Right. I like that because I don't want to be just limited to one thing. No. Like, I don't want to just focus on one thing. Like, just to clear my mind. Like, I want to be my foot in each category. Well, I have to be because our business just runs that way. But, like, even if you are just, like, if someone's in your ear telling you, oh, I need to do just one thing, like, no. At least pick up 2 to 3 things. 3 to 4. 3 to 4 for me.
Rick posted a comment online, and it was basically, Rick's one of our sponsors, by the way, out there in Atlanta. And he basically, the quote said, either you build your own, or somebody who has built their own, you can go work for them.
I don't.
And so, so either you figure out what your passions and desires are, or you be a monotonous worker bee,
right?
And don't.
But it's okay.
But it's totally okay to do that.
Right. It's okay to
stack your money, get your money.
Not everybody. just realized like a couple months ago, like not everybody has to be a business owner, entrepreneur.
No.
Like some people are fine being a worker bee.
It takes a certain point in a person's life where they decide
where they're like,
what's right for them. But like you said, like I always say, you always got to stack your cheese. And once you keep stacking chips, have a job, you can always get a better job, or you can always create a better situation for yourself.
Facts.
You're never stuck as long as you keep constantly moving.
Facts. Me on the other hand, y'all, every time I hear working for somebody, I literally like, I freak out. I'm like, work for somebody.
And what do I tell you? How many subways does it take to pay the rent for a subway and pay the lights, pay off for all the employees? So whatever you're doing, you just make sure you are putting enough work and effort to make sure whatever you're trying to accomplish, you pay off that situation.
Another thing is what I have put. If you're struggling to find like what do you love to do, I say ask the people in your life. Like so many people like have asked me, have asked my dad, have asked my brother, like just questions about them. And we've helped so many people like with their businesses and what they wanted to do in life, and it's just all you have to do is ask the people you love, honestly. Like
there's always somebody out there giving free advice, but it's up to the individuals to reach out there and grab that free advice.
Exactly.
It's all over the place.
Like, just ask.
It's like the Pokemon game when people are running around looking for the Pokemon. Like it's literally everywhere. It's like on Google, it's on YouTube, it's on Instagram, and it's now on your TikTok University that you're an alumni of.
Yes, TikTok. You can literally look up anything on TikTok. But it's just like, just ask the people around you, like, what comes to mind when you hear my name? Or just simple things like that. Like, it's the littlest things that will be like, okay, they're right. Sometimes you just have to pay close attention. People will pay close attention to other things but themselves.
It's very, very true.
And it's just like, if you focus on yourself and your interests and what you like and what you think about and what makes you excited and happy, you'll figure shit out. But like, that's when we have to take the time, like, to really figure ourselves out. And we're so like, as humans, I say this all the time, like, we're so, go. We're like scared to meditate, scared to sit still. But it's just like, you find the answers when you sit still. So you
know what? Honestly, I was actually reading another
what you
quote.
read?
It had a list of it was a book I was reading, but it had a list of some very successful people like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, all those different people, and it said that their morning routines for all these individuals that were billionaires was they wake up in the morning and they basically map out in their head, they put a mental picture in front of them of what they envision. They get up, they meditate again, they stretch. Some of them go for runs, 3-4 miles to clear their mind. Oxygen, when you breathe and you're running, the oxygen it infuses your body, and you come up with all these different ideas.
Right,
you know what I mean? It's very motivating when you put energy in versus energy out. Like you capitalize on you tap into I like to call it the universe.
Right.
And especially, I like to always say the morning times is like our power hour.
It really is.
You know what I mean? It's that time frame that we have to really grasp and hone in on what we're trying to see of our life, because you don't want to do that at the end of the day because the day is already over.
Yeah.
But if you envision and you map out your day in the beginning, it's amazing what you can accomplish in your day.
Facts. Like in the beginning of the day, like, well, when you first wake up, it's called being in a theta state. So like your brain is still kind of asleep. Like you're still kind of asleep and your subconscious is like talking. So that's really good for like to reflect, to just like put positive things in your mind and reflect on your day. I like that. I also just read a book. I'm still reading it. It's called The Artist Day. What's it called? I literally already blanked, but it's called something artist, and I'll link it down below. But basically in the morning it says that you should do
The Artisan?
No, it's called like The Creative Artist. I literally can't remember. I'm reading like 3 books right now, so I can never remember the titles. But I'll link it down below. But it says like something that you should do every morning is do your 3 pages and basically just like write down, journal 3 pages of just anything in your mind to let that off your chest and stuff like that, and like go about your day, and it helps with
being mindful and awareness.
Being mindful and having awareness, but also manifesting for the next day.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Something like that.
And the book I was reading also says Oprah actually, before she goes to bed at night, she actually meditates and thinks and visualizes what the next day, what the next morning is going to be like.
That's key.
So she's projecting it in her mind before she even goes to sleep, because, when you're sleeping, you have all these, your brain's still working at a very high functioning capacity. Your subconscious is like going. You know what I mean? It's just like you're still there. Like on Dr. Strange when he was outside his body and still doing stuff.
I wish that was so real, honestly.
But she projects for the next day.
Yeah.
I mean, I would, probably take her advice. She's been pretty successful in her life.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. I think meditating before going to sleep is so key. Mm-hmm. But it's just I don't know, when it comes to meditating, I do want to talk about meditating for a second. This is off, not even on our thing. But it's just I've been asking people I talk to, I'm like, do you meditate? And most of them say I can't sit still. I can't focus.
Well, I people always have that. I mean, I'm one of those people who can't sit still, who can't focus. However,
literally.
I do take 15 minutes every day to sit somewhere, close my eyes, breathe, and actually put everything in contents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And give myself a break, a mental break, so I can still be mentally prepared for the rest of my day. Mm-hmm. And I normally do that around 7 or 8 or something like that. And I find that is very, very relaxing and healthy for my mind.
Facts. Sometimes you just do have to just stop and reflect on things and gather your mind. But I feel if you struggle with not just closing your eyes and sitting for a minute, it's just practice. Everything is practice. You just have to train your body, honestly. You have to train yourself. Well, I mean, you just gotta...
You gotta meditate. You gotta be mindful.
Right.
You gotta give yourself that time, the connection time. Even if it's just going outside. My acupuncture person always tells me, I love her to death, Julie. She basically,
shout out to you, Julie.
She always says you can, if you're having a bad day or a rough day, you can just go stand out next to a tree, take your shoes off, stand next to the roots, ground yourself.
I hug every
tree.
And
actually gain perspective from and energy from the universe while you're sitting there doing that.
Okay, that's
and another thing is, of course, we always know that the sun actually gives us
literally,
it helps us and reflects. And then being on the beach,
oh my god, I feel so powerful on the beach.
having that opportunity to put your feet in the sand and actually dig in and ground yourself once again and enjoy everything around you.
Just grounding, because I feel people, that's not really talked about nowadays either, grounding, actually feet in the sand, feet in the grass, just an experience.
Well, you got to think about it. In a car radio, you got to ground the wire for the radio to work.
Yeah.
And in a lot of different electrical situations, they had to have a ground wire hooked up. So why wouldn't you ground yourself? Right, exactly. You know what I mean? It makes sense.
Nature, well, that's another thing, just nature. Mm-hmm. Being out in nature is so amazing. Okay, so one time, guys.
Either you can sit up and enjoy the nature, or you can wait till it's all done and you're going to be up under the ground and then there's nature happening all around you.
Exactly. Okay, that's a good way to put it. Okay, but I'm going to go off topic for a second. Okay, so back in my days, I was on some sort of drug, and I had literally, me and my friend had our feet, I'm so sorry, Dad. We had our feet, and we were outside in the grass, in nature, and I felt so one with the universe, and just we were hugging trees, and our feet.
Do not pick up random mushrooms off the trees.
Okay, yeah, it was shrooms, but shrooms, I was literally one with the grass, just one with everything. It was so amazing.
But you can do that, and could have that same connection without the
you can have that same
hallucinogenics.
Very, very, very true. But it's just now I have such a different relationship with being outside, because I'm okay, I'm so grateful for. It's a whole different experience.
Well, for those of us who had a lot of our freedoms taken away in points in our lives.
What do you mean by that?
Those of us who know we know the importance of being able to be free and be outside.
Dad. Okay, yeah. But, I was going to say something else about meditating, but I kind of just blanked. But yeah.
Yoga is a good way to meditate. That was one of our things we did for 15 years?
Yes, yoga. Thinking back on our yoga days, that was so much fun. We used to go to yoga, Lifetime Fitness, every Saturday, 12 p.m., right?
Yeah,
noon.
With Gwen.
Yes, with Gwen. Gwen and Melanie.
I love her and her husband Todd.
They're amazing people. But me, Uncle Ye, my dad's twin, and Tasia, my cousin, we used to go to yoga every Saturday, Zumba every Sunday, and yoga was
well, you did yoga on Tuesdays too, and then all the events that they would come to the gym, we would make sure.
Lifetime was lit back then. Yeah. Scottsdale, lit.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, I can't believe you and Uncle Ye were up in there doing yoga.
Oh man, we had to get our bend and stretch on.
We were so cool with our dads, and we go to yoga, it was such a vibe, but yoga, I was I was really young, and I was I felt
we started that gym when you guys were pretty young. But the reason I wanted to go to something that upscale is because we had the YMCA in Compton, or it wasn't even in Compton, it was in LA.
Yeah.
So we actually had to take the bus to get to it, and then it's thousands of kids just floating around in the pool. It was just disgusting. Honestly, it was one of the worst events I've ever had to do in my young life. So I said, you know what? With all these different places, with these different amenities, why wouldn't I take and invest, my income into a great experience that my kids could actually have and remember, and the fact that you even remember a lot of those times is great. For me, it was some of the highlights of growing up with you guys. So I really enjoyed it.
It was so fun going to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
We were such a gym family.
Yeah, and it just, unfortunately, here where we're at currently, it doesn't have the greatest of the gyms. I
told y'all before, Lifetime here is so mid. It's not...
We don't want to talk about it down, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. Pulling up in Lifetime, in Scottsdale, it was what is this? Yeah. This is a 3 resorts in one.
It really did Holyfield.
It was, but here it's just really small, and there's no rock climbing wall. There's no huge basketball court.
The yoga classes don't really.
There's no rooms.
But then again, like you said, when we find those great yoga communities and we're able to stick with them, those are just great experiences.
Exactly. We also had a community. There was definitely we knew so many people.
Yeah, it was so cool.
It was so great.
Once you're a part of a yoga community.
A week. Would you ever join a cult?
No, not a cult, but a yoga community, yes.
When I think of off topic, but when I think of cult, I think of a people in a bunch of white outfits. And
with the drinking the Kool-Aid.
It gives church. And they're outside of the forest.
It gives easily convinced.
That's what I think of cult. In Riverdale. Oh my God, Riverdale, they were in, I think, not Betty, but Betty's sister was in a cult, and it was so weird. That's how I have my idea of a cult, but I don't know what a real cult is.
No, you wouldn't want to see it. They've had a couple, and David Koresh down in Texas,
God,
it's been really bad. So
really?
I'm glad it's not as many. It probably still is a good amount, but I'm glad it's not something that is. People are easily convinced to go down that road these days.
That's true.
People are not as naive.
Mm-hmm.
However, there's a lot of naivety that still leads people into bad directions.
I feel like people join cults because they get bored or they just don't know what to do.
Well, now people, instead of joining cults, they have all these crime sprees and mass shootings, and so I think society is actually getting to a point where. We just need to have some kind of grand reflection and a change of direction.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another thing about community, joining a community is so fun. I was a part of the Zumba. Zumba. I was just a part of the Zumba moms. It was a whole bunch of moms on Zumba class, in Zumba class. And I was just I was the youngest one, but it was so much fun being a part of something. And I miss that. Definitely being a part of something is so key. That's so key.
That's the other part of, what Stay Shining is all about. Creating individual connection, which leads to community. And having a community, it's a better feeling than being all isolated.
Right.
As human beings, there's 8 billion of us, and we're meant to be communal.
Exactly.
And communalize with each other. So we have to be. I was listening to a podcast, and he says we need to get back to calling each other brother and sister.
Yeah.
Because when you call someone brother and sister, you not only show sympathy, but you show empathy, which is a little bit more impactful.
We lack nowadays.
We lack, but we had more empathy. We would take part and feel that person's pain a lot more. We would come together and we would find a way to actually help our brother and our sister, and we would all rise together by doing those things. And that's why I think community is so important. You know what I mean? So once again, like I said, Black Heritage Month is a good reflection on helping us get the mindset back into that whole community.
Definitely. Especially like my generation, they're like isolated. Like they're like, oh, we need to do it all alone. Like we talked about this before.
Yeah, no, you don't have to do it
all alone. And like even some people in my past would try to convince me like, oh, you don't need all that. You don't need your family. You don't need this is that.
Nah, it's all
like I've always been such a family community person. Like we always create a community everywhere we go.
Exactly.
And so I feel like that has made my life so much more fun. Like
a community of people who grow together, who share knowledge and information, who have a vested interest in everyone succeeding. That's a great thing. I mean,
it's a great thing.
I don't understand why I would want to be isolated.
Exactly.
Why I would want to take part in something of that nature.
Right. People definitely have to get that narrative out the way. But yeah, that's what
like you said, people need to get that narrative out the way. We need to change directions on our mindset.
Yeah.
And once we go in that different direction, I think the sky is the limit.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
And that's what we're trying to create here, guys. It's just like a community. Like my dad should feel like your dad, your cousin, your brother, whatever you want to say. Like we are friends of yours. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about dad. I mean,
okay, what if they don't have a dad?
Unc.
You could be their dad. Like you said, Unc. Like,
I'm too young to be a dad, so.
This dude. Okay, what are we, brother and sister?
Yep. I'm
my
the
God.
Oldest of the flock.
But you know what I mean. Like, we are family here. Like, and that's what we want to create with you guys when you're watching us. Like, we're family. Like, you guys already ask us questions in our DMs. Like, just like on some really chill shit. And it just makes me so happy. I'm like, okay, we are doing what we need to do. We are really creating a community. And even like this month, like we're doing so good when it comes to like interaction. And like you guys are interacting with us and just reaching out more. And it just means so much to me. It means a lot to me. I don't know how my dad feels, but it means a lot to him too. But it's just,
well, don't forget, if you could just subscribe and hit the subscribe button, that'd be great.
Guys, do the things for free.
That helps, and then you'll be made aware of our shows coming around
every Thursday.
And you'll be able to see us in some of our commercials and our merchandise on www.diamondhollyproductions.com.
But yeah, I just love that we're growing the Stay Shining family, the DHP family, and it just makes me happy. Community is everything, and tying it back to finding your passion. Like once you find your passions, then a community comes with that, because you obviously got to reach out to people who are doing the same things as you. Ask questions. Like never be afraid to ask questions. Ask people what's up. Like that was another thing for me back in the day. I would tell my dad, I'm not messaging them. I'm scared. Like, I'm not, I used to be so scared.
And you know what my biggest thing was? If you don't reach out to them, how will they know about your message, the information that you're trying to provide them?
Right, or how I get the questions answered.
You can't be scared to not give them what you're supposed to give them, and that's that information stream.
Right, exactly. And so I grew out of that. I'm messaging anybody now. Like, I'm just like, I want... Closed mouths do not get fed.
No.
At the end of the day, closed mouths do not get fed. You need to open your mouth. You need to ask questions. Like, people are not going to be afraid to answer it also. Like, that's what I've learned. Like, reaching out to a lot of people. They weren't afraid of, like, being like, okay, that man. Like, and working with me. And it's just... It's amazing. And so, yeah, finding your passions, have grace, and just deep dive into everything. But to end the episode off, since it is Black History Month, we want all month long, we're just going to be highlighting influential Black people, everything Black history, updating you guys on what's going on in the Black community, like not the sad stuff, because like I just want to keep it happy here, and there's a lot of sad things, but especially going on right now. But we do want to just highlight everybody influential and talk about things you guys may not know about Black history, because there's still a lot that I don't know. So we're all learning together. And with that being said, I do want to start off this month with highlighting the most influential people of 2022. I got this from like a list, so all my links down below. I will link these articles down below for y'all, because I know like some of you want to read the articles. I'm the same way. But I did pick out a couple people. Well, they were at the top, and they're all women. So we're just going to be giving them their flowers. So first we have Quinta Bronson. You know who that is, right?
No, I do not.
Remember Abbott Elementary School?
Oh, Abbott.
Yes. Is it Abbott or Abbott? Yeah. Okay, Abbott.
Oh, yeah, the young lady who writes, directs, and acts in the show. And that's the kid that was on Chris Rock's
Everybody Hates Chris. Yeah.
Everybody Hates Chris. What's his name?
Chris?
No,
Tyler something.
Yeah, the kid that was little and then got himself all big and buff.
It's Tyler something. I don't know the whole name.
But the Abbott show it's
so great, guys.
To me, it's spot on. I think for anybody who's volunteered, worked, been a part of a school situation, it is so similar to everything that is going on in that show.
I love that show, and also I love Quinta. She started on Vine. She started on Vine at a young age and has always kept going. So her story is so powerful and so inspirational to me, like she just kept going and never stopped. And I can always appreciate someone who never quits, So Quinta, she also got a Grammy, which is incredible.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Didn't that happen like a couple weeks ago? I'm sure.
Yeah, we seen a couple weeks ago.
So that happened, and well deserved. That is just incredible and powerful. Now she's running this amazing TV show, and I love the entire cast.
I think it's going to be very successful.
Yeah.
And very popular for a very long time.
Right, and I know she's working on more projects, but what she has going on is so powerful. Definitely look into her story, guys, if you need if you're feeling down in yourself, whatever. But also we next have Issa Rae. Now, Issa Rae, I don't know much about her, but I do know she has a show on HBO. She's an award-winning actress, and she was the most influential person in 2022. She's incredible. I love her. I did see one of her speeches on TikTok, and I just love her humor. I love how straight up she is, and we need more people like that, especially in the industry, because everybody is not really. Everyone, they sugarcoat things, and she doesn't sugarcoat. So I really appreciate her. And another person I picked off the list just because we love Oprah, and it was just her birthday. Happy birthday, Oprah. But yeah, Oprah. So
I was gonna say Oprah. That was mine.
45
years in the game.
Yeah.
Owns the richest Black woman in America. $3.4 billion. That's pretty successful. She started from her story. If you haven't read up on it, is very impactful, empowering, and for her to go through all that diversities, things that she had to hurdle in her life to get to this level. Man, it's pretty powerful. If you can get through your life with what you got going on after what she did, then there's no excuses.
Right, guys, we're giving you examples. We're giving you Tyler Perry. But my dad has told you about Tyler Perry's story. He told about Oprah.
And the other person that's Blackish.
Who?
The twin. The young lady.
Oh, Marseille. She's doing the damn thing.
She's a writer, director also.
Yes, she did that one.
Youngest producer in show business.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
That's amazing. And we were watching her on Blackish, the cutest little kid.
Like I said,
now she's really doing
it doesn't matter what point in your life that you're at.
Yeah.
You could actually still, that passion stirs up.
Put yourself in that place.
It's going to stir up inside of you anyway at certain different times of your life, and then you could actually achieve some great things. So don't rush it, don't push it. Just be mindful and accepting, and don't just wait for it to come to you, but put some motion and some action behind it and try to go out there and reach out and grab it.
At least some feeling behind it too, But shout out to all those incredible people just leading and being such an inspiration for young Black women and men and everybody. Also, to end this episode off, guys, I did want to do like a little history lesson, history lesson. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about Madame C.J. Walker. She created and specialized in hair products for African American people, and she basically had a hair care company, and she was the first American woman to become a self-made millionaire. So she was born 1867, died 1919, but it's super incredible how she became a millionaire off of selling hair care products. It says that she invented the line because she was suffering from scalp ailments.
Mm-hmm. Probably same thing. Okay, what's the name of her products?
I have no idea. I don't look all that.
Oh, okay.
But we'll look it up.
Special shout out to all those people who out there selling some products that's going to help your whole hair situation.
Yeah.
Or that helps a person feel better about their hair situation.
Themselves, yeah.
So whether that's wigs, extensions, whatever a person needs to do to make them feel that they are the person that they want to be.
Confident, yes.
Comfortable, happy, confident, all that. Much power to it. Your aunt actually has a hair care company.
Oh yes, Auntie, I love you. Guys, make sure you guys check out my aunt's Healing in Hands Growth. She has a bunch of, holistic type, natural type products. It's like for hair, skin, body, all that. So I'm going to link it down below. Definitely, and she's got the pictures before and after, so shit be working for real.
The dreadlocks be growing.
Yeah, her hair. Oh my gosh, she did locks, and now it's like it's so gorgeous, and she has all these hairstyles.
So shout out to you, Tiffany Girdle.
I love you, Tiff. Dad, you did not have to do. You did not have to do last name. Mom's gonna be like. I'm kidding. Okay, but
they gotta be able to find her online. So.
Guys, I'll link it down below. I'll link her Instagram, her Facebook for you guys. But and they're really affordable, period, Auntie. Okay, but And
then also,
what?
My niece, Jessica.
Jessica, she has wigs. Jessica, I be forgetting. I'm so sorry.
We got so many talented people in our family.
We do.
It's awesome.
We do. I love
the entrepreneurial spirit that's in the gene pool. I just love to see it.
I'm so happy. I love my family.
I got cousins that do podcasts also.
Yes. Okay. Check out my cousins. Well, is she my cousin?
She's my cousin.
Okay, but I just always been calling her my cousin.
Her mom is my cousin. So it's just like you guys are down the line trickling.
Yeah, I've always called her my cousin, but my cousin has a podcast that she does with her best friend. So I'm gonna link that podcast down below. I don't know what it's called. I see the ads for it every day. I'm so sorry, Faye. I'm so sorry. I see the ad. Wide Open Play. That's what it's called. Wide Open Play. Something like that. But I'm going to link it down below. Go watch my cousin's podcast.
We're just giving plugs to everybody. You know why? Because like I said, it's about community. Yeah. It's about seeing everybody grow.
Yes. And why not? Y'all bored at home. Go look at their stuff.
Right? Once again, it's not enough content and there's not enough people out there doing what they need to be doing.
Right.
So we're going to bring you some folks that's doing the doggone
that's
thing.
Doing something. Because, negativity is taking over social media nowadays. So, why not?
Yeah, instead of taking away from somebody's situation, why not promote somebody's situation? You'll feel better at the end.
Exactly. So, that's all we have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I am so excited
and once again,
for this year.
We love being here at You Belong Here. We appreciate you having us again.
Yes, guys, check out You Belong Here. Link in the description. You already know. And that concludes today's episode. We love you guys so much, and you already know.
Stay
shining.